All right, we're recording, and so I'm also going to broadcast my screen. So let's go back to this is the advanced drawing book. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you okay, Eliza? You sound
Yes, ma'am po.
okay. So we've done with the eyes, the ears, the nose, and also the mouth. So now we're going to try to um draw, or well, we're not really going to draw it, but just going to discuss to you how perspective of the legs and the arms are very important. So with the perspective, um, we need to use foreshortening, right? Do you remember what foreshortening is?
Yes.
What is foreshortening?
It's how light what do you call this? It's how light reflects on a surface and how we perceive the distance of the object because of the light.
Mm-hmm. And then, and also it is how we view the picture. So how we view the or translate the figure from the distance, and then cut the some parts, the cut the proportions in order to make it visually balanced or visually proportioned because of perspective. So um yeah, do you get it? Um so one of the most difficult things to do is foreshortening. But once you get you kasi with with perspective, there is no measure. Rather than you just have to use your um wait a minute. You just have to use your eyes and your visual skills on how to logically analyze or measure each thing. So for example here, the the one, what do you call this? One toe is as almost as bigger as this one, and a half bigger of the heel, for example. So you could use that as a form of measurement for unit. And same thing with um, this one feet, for example. It is almost as big as the thigh, but it's got maybe a third of the leg, for example. So that you could use to measure the perspective and how you're going to make your um, perspective or your foreshortening somehow proportionally correct or visually correct. So do you get it? Do you have any questions so far? None?
No
I
naman.
do have a question po.
Yes, Mela?
What makes foreshortening important? Because it's very unusual for us to hear this term in drawing. Foreshortening.
Foreshortening is not very unusual. Rather, it is done, well, it is taught to you for figure drawing and other, and also it is also not also, I mean, it is also not applicable to bodies, but it could also be applicable in landscapes, in cityscapes, for example. This is what you do when you try to analyze the proportions of the street, for example, how big the the building would be compared to the person, for example. So it is what it is, the foreshortening is a technique to use in order to arrive at a correct or visually correct proportions. Do you understand, Mela?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any more questions?
Not.
Okay, so let's go back to this one. So um we already have discussed uh the why foreshortening is very important and how perspective also plays a part to it, and also we need now how to draw it. So if you remember basic shapes, you can already draw it. So if you understand the basic shapes, you could also use some guidelines as well. For example, when drawing uh, this one, you could see how the half of the leg or a half of the foot is um, is the same as, is occupied by the toe, and the other half is the other four toes. So that would sincerely help you with your drawing. And besides that, in order to, so you have your basic shapes, right? You could also do this, make some circles. And then if you remember your skeletal system, you have different kinds of bones in your feet. So this is another bone. And then you have other small bones here, but since it doesn't look like a bone, we're going to just make it into one big circle there. And also you have another bone here, or a series of bone, right? And then connecting to this is another kind of bone, right? So there are actually two bones there. So you can see how this part here is in a shaded area, or is parang submerged, or kasi the bone looks like this, right?
Ma'am, I have a question. Is it okay?
Yeah,
The darker the shading for the indents it gives, does that mean it's giving a more deeper impression on the foot?
yeah, exactly. That's the term that I'm looking for. So this is so you could see here in this area, this is your, so roughly this is your feet, and these are your bones here, right? And this is where this part is. There's no bone there, so it naturally goes curved. So that's why. So okay, and then you could also draw another circle here. So just you could see how this circle and this circle is almost the same. And then you shouldn't forget also the muscles of the leg and the bone of the leg. So you have the hamstring here and another big muscle here, or a series of muscles actually, right? So it is also the same with this part. If you could see how you could also cut the leg in half, the foot in half, for example. So one part here and also another part here. So just so you could see the proportion of the foot. It's also the same here. Cut it in half, and then um, draw draw your guidelines, and then you could start drawing your bones. And another circle here, another circle there, and your guidelines or something that connects the two. And in this drawing naman, this is frontal, right? And this is back or anterior of the foot. So this is, and on the interior of the foot, you have the kneecaps are here, right? Kneecaps. And here, there is an indent here. So there is a parang space there or an indentation. So that was, this is dark area. And pero on the frontal, you have your kneecap. So this one. So it would look like it is parang like a mountain na parang my bulge. It is a bulge. And also you should not forget that you also have your the bone, your, what do you call this, your ankle. So you have your ankle bone here, and you also have your different uh muscles of your legs. So you have one, diba, if you remember your muscles, and this is also the bone here. So don't forget about that. Another bone here and another different kinds of bone there. But to make it easier, you could just draw a circle here and another circle here. And then to make it easier, also you could draw another oblong or circle there. And then you could just parang also do a guideline. See? And also here. Kasi this would be your axis on your leg. And then this would be your guideline should be. And if you could also see the guideline here is paikot. Ganun siya. Right? Do you understand?
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Just one question, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
What's the rule of measure for distance between joints, depending on the angle?
So there is actually no measure, but
Sa
you could just parang
eyeball. Parang ganun.
eyeball, and then usually it is perpendicular. So for example, this one, for example,
And the light source should be consistent all around.
not yes, in a way, yes, unless there are multiple right source in the picture. Pero here you could see naman. Wait lang, let me erase what I did, or let me try a different color na lang. Red. So if you could see, the guideline is here, diba, on the foot, and also here, and actually the ano naman is very consistent. So if you could also do the guideline here, and the guideline here of the foot is also very consistent. You just have to find your axis. So for example, the feet here, their axis is here, and then the axis is also here, right? And also the axis here, diba, is also perpendicular to, or is parallel to the axis here of the foot.
Oh, okay.
See, you could connect it.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
So ayun. Get it, no?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got it. Thank you, miss.
Okay, that's a really good question anyway. So ayun. Oh, did I do? So that makes sense. So let's go to, so oh nga pala. Photos, back, minute, legs. So just to further, there are different kinds of legs. So this is, how can I draw? So anyway, ito. So there are different kinds of legs, but if you could see here how these legs have always have their, for example, let's try red. So for example, these legs always have their basic structure, muscles, and the bones. So if you could see here, there are the bones here, bones, bones, bones. And then you could also see the muscles here, and also you can see the bone here. So when drawing, you just have to know, or you just have to think that every time that you draw legs or a part of the body, there is also an underlying structure underneath. That is why this, when you draw this, for example, the eye looks like an eye because of the structures it has. It is also the same with the legs, the arms, and other parts of the body. And this is true also to the legs. So another example is this one. So if you could see how the hairy legs, for example, this is a man, for example, in spite of the hair, it has a kneecap, it has a bone, it has a shin, and it has muscles underneath. So you have to also see that. And also, if you can see this, not everything is straight. So if you draw a guideline, here, dito straight. If you draw a guideline here, the knees is not straight. So here is the kneecap, and here is another big chunk of your muscles and bone, sample bone. And then you also have another knee, ankle here, you have the heel bone here, you have the toe, and other parts of the body. So you always have to remember the muscles and the bones underneath. And also, not everything is straight. So for instance, in grade school and stuff, and for instance, in grade school, we used to draw straight legs, straight and stuff. But realistically, the knees, the arms are not straight. It has some underlying structures underneath, so it's not straight. And if you want to draw something realistically as possible, you have to understand the proportion, the perspective, and the and how the body works. So also, if you could see here, how the toes and the toes are foreshortened, or the feet are foreshortened, and it looks smaller than the rest of the body. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is another example. So this is a very muscular person. So if you could see how the muscles are forming underneath, for some people it is very hard to draw this kind of person because it has a lot of basic shapes, but actually it's also very easy to draw in proportion because of the basic shapes, or kasi it has a lot of basic shapes na you could measure up the proportions. So, ayun. So, ano ba to? Also this one. So, if you could see, there are muscles, there are bones na. Halos maghiwalay na sila. So, ayun lang. And the same thing with here, how the knees are foreshortened, and the legs are somewhat foreshortened, and the toes and the feet, if you could see how the feet, the muscles, there are less muscles, and you could see the shape of the bones underneath. Wait, I'm going to charge my laptop because it's low in battery now, and we don't want it to shut down in the middle of the lecture. There. Okay. And also this one. So you can see how there are different kinds of feet. See? And there are different kinds of legs. There are legs with a thigh gap, and there are legs that doesn't have a thigh gap. There are legs who have, there are also legs that have bigger muscles. There are also legs with less muscles. There are also knees that are very protruding, and there are also knees that are less protruding. And also with the feet, if you could see how some feet are straight, and some feet, the second toe is higher or longer than the big toe. So you just have to see that. So ayun, another form of legs. This is another example of legs. And also sometimes the physical environment can affect the form of the figure. So for example, in this example, the water is distorting the figure below, which is the legs. So you have also to take consideration of that beside the muscles or the structural line underneath. So ayun. Okay, do you have any questions so far?
Wala naman po.
None so far.
Okay, so let's go to the arms. So like the arms, like the legs, sorry, you also have to take in consideration the perspective of the arms. So sometimes the hand might be outstretched, and it might foreshorten the area here, the wrist area. So the wrist area to the elbow. So it is very important to check that out. So for example, in these figures, this area here, the wrist to the elbow is very foreshortened, that it is almost the same size as half of the hand, right?
Yes. It means it kind of looks like the one on the right is more straight or lifted.
Yeah. So if you could see here, this one is very big, and it's almost the same as this one here. And also this one is the same, this one, the same in size, right? Tama ba?
Yes.
Okay. So just like the feet, you could also use your basic shapes in I'm trying to do the proportions. So let's change the color. So for example, you have a bone here, bone, 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 and then you have little bones here as well. So remember your hand has 3 bones or 4, including the knuckles. So you have to draw that. And also here, this one, since it is a little bit foreshortened, we could draw it in a triangle. And also this one, you could actually draw it in a trapezoid or a triangle if you want a triangle. And this one also, this one naman, the thumb has 3 major bones. So it includes the palm, the big ball here in the palm, and then the middle here, and the big thing here that includes the nail. So, and then you also have your wrist, right? You also have your wrist, right? So don't forget that. And here naman, with this here, the part of the wrist to the elbow, you have 2 different types of bone, the radius and the ulna, right? And the radius is straight and the ulna is a little bit curved. So this is why this is a little bit curved and this is a little bit straight, or it looks like this one. And then on the shoulders naman, you could draw it like this or a straight like that, but it's more better if you draw it like this one. And you have also to remember you have different sides of the bone structure. The elbows, with the elbows, it is the muscles, especially a well-deformed triceps, are very important here because I use it to carry everyday stuff and all. So you have to remember that you have one muscle here and another big muscle here. So, ayan. So that's why it looks like this. It looks like a bit of 2 different sausage, or anong tawag doon? Longganisa ba? So, na hindi pinuputol-putol. So, ayan. So, with perspective also, you could see how this 3 is almost the same in size, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then going here naman, this is posterior, and this is anterior, I mean front, and this is back. So at the back is almost the same. So if you could look at your insides of your arm, you could see that you have also this big lump here. So this is a bit flat compared to this one, right? So ayan. So remember your basic shapes. You can do that as well. Just remember your ang tawag dito, your muscles and skeletal system. But basically, you could draw this one whole circle, and then you could add your sausages. So ayan. Actually, the back of a hand is more easier for me. So you could draw it like that, circle here, another circle like that, and then, so tingnan mo din yung axis. So in the middle finger, you have big one, 1, 2, 3, or ganon if you like it better. And you also have 1, 2, and then you have 3 here, and then 1, 2, 3. You could see na mas mataas to, and then 1, 2, 3, and then you could shape it na lang like that. So, ayan. See, madali lang. See, madali lang. So, and then you just have to do the you just have to do the details. What else? This one as well. It's almost the same, but usually when the hand is spread out, it is in a. It is usually in a triangle form when it is spread out in the table. Pero, and then the axis is here. And the axis is here. And then it's perpendicular to the table or something like that. And then don't forget also your basic shapes. You have your wrist here, the body of your hand, and 1, 2 for the 3, 1, 1, 2, 3 for the thumb. And also you can see here na itong third portion, third na bones here is a little bit of foreshortened. So basically you cannot see it here. So what you're going to do is just draw this 2 here, these 2 bones. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then little bit up here. And then you also have this. This is very important because it is very determining. The knuckles are determining of the shape of the hand also. So you have to add that here. So basically that is your hand. So madali lang, di ba? Right?
Medyo ano sa knuckles, ma'am. Kasi
Medyo hirap.
lalo na sa ano, yung sa triangular o yung forward facing.
Yeah. But
Because ang daming kasing angles na tumatama yung ilaw. So yung knuckles parang you have to be very fine with
Yeah.
it. Sorry.
yeah, it's okay. I could understand kasi most of the bones na kasi the hand it is mostly used and then it has more muscles and the muscles are more developed kasi with texting with painting for example. So yung muscles on the hand is more developed and also the bones in the hand is also more prominent than the rest of the body. So I understand how you need to go into detail with to draw the hand. And also, if you draw also the palm, for example, you can see ridges in the, for example, your fingerprints and a little bit of lines in the palm, for example. So that makes the hand a little bit harder to draw. And so I understand. So let's continue. It's also the same here, but if you could see this outstretched arm, you have different, if you could see how you have this here, the bone here, and the ulna, the radius on this entire hand has different, for example, bones. So ayun, but if you could see here, this one, so that is a fat or kasi some of the people doesn't always work out, so that is natural. Also here you have the shoulder blades here, right? So that is why this is protruding and pag ganyan talaga yung shape ng arm. And don't forget the indentation here for the elbow. And also here you have a little indentation here because of the risk. So ayun, you just have to see how that is, how the hand is also not straight, but rather it is curvy in a way. So this is another picture. If you could see here, most prominent yung muscles, yung triceps are forming, right? And how the hand, the knuckles are smaller than the triceps, right? Also this one. You can see how her hand is, and this person is a little more leaner than the previous person. So the hand is almost the same, same size as her shoulder blades and well this part here. Wait on. I mean this part here. It's almost the same size, and that this size here is also almost the same. So that is how you will get your proportion.
Also triangular, ma'am.
Yes, triangular. Also the same as here. And here naman, you could see the muscles na protruding. So here it is much more clear, the muscles, you know. And this is an example of drawing. So you have your wait lang. You could see here your muscles here, and then ito yung my skin, and also here, right? This is your bone. It is very important, the radius and the ulna, and how your muscles are helping the shape. So I am also here. This is also important, the elbow. Ayan. So done. Another, so so do you have any questions for me?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, so now we're going to go to we're going to how to draw clothes in motion. So what you're going to do is watch a video and then also practice drawing it. But wait, let me present. So I haven't done the plate yet. I haven't put in the plate yet. But you will you will watch this, how to draw clothes. This is in 33 minutes. And then after, you're going to read a book, Art of Drawing of the Human Body. So, and the book is here, course references. So the book is Art of Drawing of the Human Body by Edgar Loy Frank Bonner. And you have to read pages 106 to 105. Okay, I don't have to reply to that because we're having the meeting now. So, ayun, is that clear? And then you just have to draw one figure with clothes in motion or someone in motion. All right?
Figure as in torso and legs.
Yes, with clothing.
How about the head?
You could have it in shape lang or without the head.
Okay, thank you.
Any reference for that? For making the
Ano?
plate on clothes in motion?
Ano yun?
Do we need to follow any reference? Or
Yes, you have to submit also your reference.
so and we can choose any for the clothes in motion.
Yes.
So but it doesn't have to be from the video, right? That we are gonna have.
Wait, I'm going para standard. I'm going to pick the reference and then you're going to copy it.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem po.
Okay. So, okay.
Ma'am, so sa reaction paper po, magsusulat po kami kung ano naintindihan namin sa sa book po.
Yes.
May mga how many words po?
Minimum of 500 words. Okay? Art of drawing.
Di po kasama yung name, yung date,
Of course.
subject, ganun po. Okay.
Of course. So let me show you the book. So wait, how are we going to show it? So can you see my book? So this is the book of the Art of Drawing. So we're on page 98. And what I ask you to do is page 101. Ano ba?
I
101
think it's
to
101 to 106 po.
106. So this is 101 to 106. 101 and until here. Until here. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's clear, right?
Clear po.
So that's it. I'm just going to post the plates and the plates and wait, I'm just going to do it now. Okay. So no more further questions.
None from me.